Feldman.
Yeah, I was going to move on to question number 3 on minority firms.
I thank you for that detailed analysis of the scope of work of this type of litigation, which is, for those of us who sit around the table and happen to be affiliated with law firms, and it's pretty significant. Could you please, your last statement that I heard you say is that these types of lawsuits may have a recovery rate of anywhere between $150 to $200 million potentially. Could you describe the status of these types of actuarial malfeasance lawsuits that have occurred across the states and what we might be expecting in that? And then I'll have another follow-up question.
Yes, sir. The 150 to 200 is based specifically on the amount that the city has expended since 2001 based on the increase in benefits.
That would be our payments and damages, if you will.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That we would have spent that much less had the benefits not changed. There have been 5 lawsuits in the relatively recent past, like within the last 5 to 10 years. Most notable case is up in Alaska, where the state of Alaska recovered a substantial amount of money based on actuarial malpractice. The other very well-known case is the case that was brought in Milwaukee, and that's the case that Sussman was involved in. Scott Walker was the county executive in Milwaukee at the time. There's also Los Angeles County that's also brought a case as well that turned out very well for the county. I know of no such case being brought in Texas to date, but there have been in other jurisdictions. And this, of course, is peculiar to public pensions because that's really the area where you find pensions today. And so much reliance is placed on what the actuaries will find that the burden is going to be.
Yes. Well, sir, I appreciate that description. I guess I wouldn't want to be an insurer or underwriter at this point in time for actuarials. Is it my understanding, am I correct, that historically the usual and customary amounts of contingency fee cases have historically been anywhere from 40 to 50%? Is that fair to say?
In commercial litigation, it's typically 4%.
And this really would bring it back not only to a 33%, but 33% plus $1 million, and that would bring it down to what?
Well, the $1 million comes back to us off the top.
Okay.
Any amount that we pay in fees, which is $720, any amount that we pay in expenses, which we're allotting $254, comes back to the city first. And it's only the balance of the recovery that assessment will then get reserved.
Well, notwithstanding the other discussions and concerns, it seems that we have been able to potentially negotiate a significant reduction in price. So, thank you.
I think so.
Councilmember Boykins.